So basically, you said you mentally struggled this season. Have there been past seasons where you came in and had a good season and it charged you back up? Like, was the dramatic nature of this season what kind of sealed the fate of making this decision?
I think it was just the result of my whole career. You know, mentally, this sport is tough. You got to mentally be strong, and it's not mentally struggling with pressure or anything like that. It was just the mental exhaustion, mental fatigue of dealing with it all the time. I'd say year after year, it started to kind of build, and you know, it's okay. You know, I've always given it my best, and I've always pushed really hard, and I've always, you know, when I should have took more time off and I didn't, and maybe that's the result of it. But at the same time, it's just there's a lot happening. There's a lot of races. There, you know, on top of the races, there's a lot of practice during the weeks as well. So it's just you're mentally having to stay in check on the dirt bike as well as off the dirt bike. You know, you're always mentally preparing yourself for the races. You know, and it's the process of getting better. You're thinking about things a lot and just trying to get the most out of your career. And you know, it's I've been doing it since I was 5, and then professionally when I turned 16. I went professional when I turned 16, and then now being 27, it's been 11 years. So it's just I've done it my whole life, you know, and I think you know, it's been good, you know, but it's not everything in life too. So I'm okay with moving on. It's been fun, and we're healthy and safe, and it's just the mental side of things started to weigh on me, and I don't know how to really explain it. You know, I just wasn't there. You know, and with that being said, it's too risky to put myself back in that position, and I'm happy with everything.
Very good. So you have gotten to this point where you've now announced your retirement, but you have raced successfully for so many years. Have you picked up any tips on how to kind of help deal with that stress that maybe other racers could benefit from?
Absolutely. You know, there's multiple things I've learned over the years. I mean, when you don't know, you just think about things constantly, and you wear yourself out, and it's easy to do that. It's hard. You almost have to force yourself to kind of get away from it all and take a break from things. I mean, with the testing, the riding, the training, I mean, it's a 24/7 deal, and with our sport, you're always trying to build yourself up physically too. So when you're resting, you're taking that time, but when you're not resting, you're training, you're riding, you're doing all the things to make yourself stronger on the dirt bike. So you're trying to get that maximum effort out of your career and the maximum performance too.
Okay, so you've said you retired from racing, you're not going to do the outdoor season. Any chance of seeing you at some one-off races, maybe racing Millville or anything like that?
No, I mean, for me, when I'm done racing, that means I'm done racing. You know, I made sure that I said, look, you're not going to, asked myself, you're not going to come back out of retirement and try to want to do this again. And I was like, no. And I've talked to many people, and I said, don't let me do that, you know. Because, yeah, there's a lot of things you miss, for sure. I mean, there is more good, and I should say there's a lot more good than there is bad. You know, there's a lot of things I enjoyed about this. It's just, you know, but at the end of the day, and keeping things in perspective, there's a lot of great things out there, you know, and there's a lot of other things to experience. And this has been a big part of my life, and it still is going to be. I'm just not going to be racing, so I'm excited for what's next, too.
Very good. You mentioned family. It was talked about at the press conference. Other than possibly starting a family, has there been something else that you've been waiting for this point to do?
Not necessarily anything that I have to do. I mean, yeah, for sure. I think we'll have more downtime, and I'm looking forward to that. I think we've just been on the go for a long time, and I'm thankful too. You know, I've had very few injuries. I've had very minimal injuries, and I've been able to be in the sport and not be sidelined a lot. You know, obviously our sport can be tough with that. So I've always been there, and racing and riding, and the training's always been ongoing and very little time off. So I think just more in the beginning, just taking some time, enjoying some things and having fun, and just doing the things I haven't got to do. Getting that break, and then other things, you know, like I can go back to Minnesota and see my family more. My wife's from there. We can see our family more. So it's just like things like that. And I mean, I love fishing. I love being on the lake, and I haven't got to do those things, you know. And it's okay. I'm not mad or you know, did I miss it? Yeah, but I was well aware that this career is short as well, and I want to make the most of this too. And we can always do all this other stuff later. It'll be there. So now that time has come, we can do those things.
Very good. My last question: in your opinion, what was your most successful moment in your racing?
You know, I would say there's two things that I really look back and think, wow, you know, like what an accomplishment that we had with the team and everything was what we did with KTM. You know, that was cool. I mean, that was such a big effort and so many groups, so many people. And nor did I think I was going to come into the sport and be a part of something like that. You know, I mean, that I wouldn't have wanted to just go to another manufacturer that was proven and try to win races. I'm glad I did it this way, you know, not just because what it is now and what we've built it up to be, but just because it motivated me. It made me excited to do, and there was more to it than just winning a race and a championship. There was more behind it. And so with that was really cool. And then the championship. I think in this year, the Supercross Championship, winning that, it was the hardest championship. And when it comes down to the wire like that, it really tests a person. You know, it really puts you in a position where, you know, you have to dig deep. It's tough. It's really hard. But just going through stuff like that, it makes you better. It makes you stronger. You don't know it at the time because what you're going through is kind of overwhelming. But knowing that we were able to accomplish that and come through out on top, especially how hard it was on all of us, it was just really rewarding.